Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are taking a look at a really cool model from PNSO that they sent me over to take a little look-see at, so I'm really excited to review this with you guys all today. I wore my favorite Jaws shirt from Shirtnado to give you a little taste of what we're looking at today.
I'm talking about a great white chief.
Well, it's a shark, but it's not a great white. Yes, today we are taking a look at the Megalodon model from PNSO, or as he is called in the PNSO line, Peyton the Megalodon, or Paton, as I'm sure that some other languages maybe call it like that. I don't know. Inherently, I think that is a boy's name. I believe that this is catching on as a trend as a girl's name, I think. I've heard of some people calling their girls Peyton. But being the nerd that I am, I can tell by looking at the picture what sex the shark is, but we will keep that a secret until we open the model up. So, Megalodon means big tooth, and is of course an extinct species of shark that lived approximately 23 to 3.6 million years ago, and was regarded as one of the largest and most powerful predators to have ever lived. It's estimated they reached a maximum length of approximately 18 meters or 59 feet, with average sizes more so in the 34-foot range. And with all that lovely largeness, they targeted larger prey such as whales, seals, and sea turtles. I am absolutely fascinated by sharks, and Megalodon definitely takes the cake as being one of the most awesome sharks to have ever haunted our waters. Before opening this up, I do have to go ahead and applaud PNSO for making this model, because as amazing as Megalodons are, they are very underrepresented. And there are not many models or statues kind of showcasing their awesomeness. So here is our lovely box, and I say this because look at this wickedly eerie picture of the Megalodon stalking and patrolling the depths of the ocean. They could have, you know, just packaged this up in a plain cardboard box, but I appreciate that extra mile they went to with the box art. So sliding this off, right off the bat, we are presented with this tiny little booklet here. This top article here explains how the founders of PNSO have this scientific art project plan from 2010 to 2070 of doing research to make their models more scientifically accurate. And on the bottom here, it's actually really cute for kids because essentially it is the Megalodon introducing himself to kids. So it's not just a straight up fact sheet. We have a base plate as well as this plastic stand. Then we have the model itself. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh man, look at this guy. Look how awesome. Look at these spots and the paint job on the side here, and look at all that detail. Wow, I absolutely am in love with this bottom section. So this model is approximately 13 inches long and about 5 inches high. This is the original Jurassic Park Velociraptor, and as you can see, it is approximately half the length of the Megalodon, but it is about as high as the Megalodon. So this model is not super light or hollow by any means. It has a little tiny bit of weight to it, so it is hollow up until a point. I can stick my finger just about right here, and it stops. That's the back of his throat. You can see that there is a end point to his throat, and the rest of the body is completely solid. There are so many color variations in this paint job. It's not all gray, it's not just all blue, there are all sorts of shades in here. And depending on how you move it or how the light catches it, your eye catches all these different colors, which I think is very impressive in terms of the paint job. This gradient of going to kind of the yellow to the pure white down here, and I love the painting and the spots on these fins down here, as well as on the folds. PNSO, made in the PRC, or People's Republic of China, 2016. One thing I both like and dislike at the same time are these battle wounds. I love the idea of battle wounds to really show the age, you know, the journey that the shark may have gone through fighting sperm whales, giant squid, other megalodons. Some of these wounds and scars look great, but I'm not a fan of the bright white paint that they use to fill in the marks to make them stand out. I understand why they did it, but I feel like no paint at all, or even just a very, very faint gray or a very, very faint white could have done the job just as well. I also really appreciate that wet look, that gloss that was added to give this a realistic sheen as though the shark is wet. I think they picked a perfect pose for this model, you know, just enough arch in the undulation to flex those muscles and show them off while giving the piece some movement and momentum. We also see that lateral line here on the shark, which was used to sense vibrations in the water. The sculpt on this thing, it's just terrific. Like, look at this part here on the underside. Look at all these tiny markings in the skin, the folds, the creases. And you can actually see this level of detail, you know, kind of all over the model itself. Even on the top, you can see all these tiny little marks showing texture. If you want to actually sex a shark, if you want to know if it's male or female, you look at the pelvic fin, which are these fins just right here, in between the pectoral fins and the anal fin here. You'll see this longitudinal kind of a structure, two of them actually, one on each of the pelvic fins. And those are called the claspers. Those are the actual like male sex organs, the peni, if you will. So I don't know if there's any shark enthusiasts or anything out there, but to me, this is a female, which is kind of odd because I think it was given a male name, wasn't it? It was Peyton, unless they're going maybe the female angle, like a female Peyton. But you probably will hear me reference this as a male, you know, he or him, because usually if it's something that's kind of scary looking or kind of manly, I will just go ahead and call it like a guy. And if you're a total nerd like me, you'll actually notice that they added a cloaca here. I can't believe they added that. It's essentially the opening in which sharks do virtually all their business, you know, in and out of. They actually added the gills here of the shark, and a cool thing that they did is that, depending on how you look at it, if you look at it like this, can't really see anything, but if you look at it at the back like this, you can actually see the inside of the gills here. And they did that by making that red color in there to stand out, to actually feel like you're looking inside the shark to see those gills. 3 rows on the top, 3 rows on the bottom. This is absolutely diabolical. Can't believe the level of detail in these tiny little teeth. There are so many teeth here. I can't even count. Let's see, let me just count one row of teeth. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, like 21, 22. So basically like 120 teeth here, which is pretty amazing, all detailed. And some of them are, you know, sticking outward, some of them sticking inward a little bit. And you can see that they made an effort to make some of the teeth kind of white, and some of them have, you know, blood stains on them. But you can actually see all the little ribbing, and it looks all bloodied and gory in there. And it definitely looks like what the inside of a shark would look like. They added some gloss as well to make it look wet in there and just all the more realistic. And another nerd alert here, guys. If you see all these little pores and indents on the shark's snout and around his eyes, those are actually the ampullae of Lorenzini, and those are special sensing organs. They're like electroreceptors, and they form this network of jelly-like filled pores. And these pores are plainly visible, you know, when you look at a shark, as dark spots on the skin. And they provide fish, you know, with additional sensing capabilities for detecting electric fields, magnetic fields, and temperature variations. It would have been really neat if they could have made those stick out a little more, those pores, by maybe making them a little more darker and more realistic. This makes the bottom of the base plate, and it is a little bit shiny with kind of like a gold dusting on it. And then we are given this little stand here, which comes with this screw. Actually has a flat edge, which will match up with the little flat edge that is right here. So let's go ahead and do that. Screw that screw in. So here's the finished base plate. So you're just gonna wanna set it down like this and place your shark on top. And he might slide around a tiny bit. It's just a matter of finding the center of gravity of the shark and balancing him. And perfect, there we go. So what are my dislikes regarding this model? I actually have just 3 little critiques on this guy. First off, I already mentioned I wasn't a fan of the filled in battle wounds. Secondly, I feel like they could have done a little better job hiding the seams of this model. Now I understand how these vinyl models are made. You can actually see a seam right here and here, as well as on the base of every fin, meaning that all of these were made separately in separate parts. Then they are painted and then glued together for the final piece. You can see in some areas that the paint isn't as cohesive, and the seams are not level in some areas, where one piece is a little higher than the other. But it really doesn't bother me too much. I'm not that far away from it, and I can barely see it. And the last little critique here I have is in terms of the stand. So I think it would have been greatly appreciated if there was a little piece of rubber or another kind of a tactile material that could offer a little bit of friction, just to make this guy kind of balance a little bit more easier. So right when you set him on there, he's balanced. You don't have to kind of find his center of gravity on this slippery stand here that is a little tricky sometimes to find his center of gravity. Heck, even maybe being able to angle the stand up and down would have been really cool too, because I think a really cool pose would be like this. You can find this guy on the PNSO website, which I have left a link to in the description down below, and as well I've also left an Amazon link if you want to check this guy out. They go for about $59 US, which I think is a super affordable price considering the quality, detail, and amazing sculpt and paint job on this guy. PNSO has lots of other fantastic models that I hope to review for you all in the future. They have highly detailed animal models and some incredibly wicked dinosaur models that you really have to check out. And again, again, a big thank you to PNSO for sending over this awesome Megalodon statue for me to review for you guys. It's a fantastic addition to my collection because who doesn't like sharks, let alone giant prehistoric sharks? So please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. I come with new videos every week. Come check me out on social media and help support the channel on Patreon. So thank you guys so much for watching and stay legendary.